I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. Kinsey study finds a lack of sex education hurts adult relationships and confidence. A new study from the Kinsey Institute reveals that gaps in sex education continue to shape adult lives, influencing relationships, confidence, and overall well-being. Researchers surveyed nearly 4,000 single U.S. adults aged 18 to 98 on 16 topics typically covered in comprehensive sex education. They found about 1/3 never learned about healthy relationships, consent, communication, pressure, or dating. Not in school and not from family or friends. Only one topic, reproduction or pregnancy, was taught to the majority of the respondents at 55%. Lessons on puberty, STI prevention, and contraception were all taught to fewer than 50%. Of respondents, fewer than 1 in 5 learned about consent, and just about 7% received education on healthy relationships. Topics about pleasure and communication were barely covered, reaching only about 4% of the participants. The study also showed that over 90% said a complete education would have improved their lives today. They cited benefits such as healthier romantic relationships, greater confidence, and better understanding of their own bodies. This isn't just about sex, it's about equity, health, and dignity. Comprehensive sex education is a lifelong need, and programs like Crash Course Sex Ed, developed with the Kinsey Institute, are helping fill the gap for adults. But the question remains, why are our schools and homes still failing to teach the basics of consent, communication, and healthy relationships? You know, I have found this to be so true. I do a lot of programming where I go to the colleges and I talk about, obviously, about HIV and STI, since that's part of what I represent in the community, and I am shocked at some of the questions that come from these young students, and they don't understand consent, and understanding that even like consent as far as if you are drinking and maybe recreational drugs, you can't give consent because you can't drive a car. So if you're, you know, these type of things, but they have no idea what's coming their way, and it's very sad to see.
I'll take homeschooled bastards for 1,000, Ken. The problem is if there's no sex education in schools, then it falls to the parents who have their own agenda when it comes to the subject. So it's really so complicated, and hopefully then, you know, with all these different programs being shut down, even like a community centers, where are they going to go for that information? And if they're going to the internet, good luck with that.
Well, with the college students, I'm like, please don't tell me they're all asking ChatGPT sex advice. But like, I think we should be talking about like the lack of sex education. And people are like, well, who's to blame? It actually is the parents. Who are the ones that, like, you know, when I was a kid, I was on the Mass Commission on Gay and Lesbian Youth. There was always parents in allegedly the liberal state trying to push back on the most basic gay sex ed stuff.
Even in New England?
Oh, there was a huge controversy in like 2004 about like, oh, well, someone allegedly taught about like how to safely do fisting, and it was the biggest controversy. I'm like, so you want people to just recklessly figure out how to do it wrong? That's a great idea, parents. Like, the parents are, you are causing a problem for your child by pushing this like Puritanism BS, and you know, someone's gotta get these schools to act properly.
Yeah, I was fortunate, you know, being a product somewhere in the 80s between high school and university, having some gay positive role models, and then eventually going back and speaking to the university in New Jersey as part of a speakers bureau. And it's really sad to see the backpedaling and things disintegrating here in Florida, especially. So,
you know, I can tell you from a women's perspective, over the course of the last year, I've gone to a lot of talks, discussion groups, just programming revolving around intimacy. And a lot of the women attending are older. So anywhere from mid-40s to mid-70s, I would say. You'd be amazed. At how many really have no basic knowledge of their bodies, their anatomy, their, you know, I mean, let alone how to be intimate with another person. It's it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
And even that idea of consent was a generational thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So older people don't even have that in their minds. They didn't even think about that.
And you think even today then in schools talking about, then you add the mix of LGBTQ plus youth and parents who don't know how to navigate the sex talk, right? When they don't know how to, and that's like, okay, that's when you get the experts in, right? When you can't, but we also have a situation where we have children raising children.
Yeah.
You know, very early. So it's sad to see, but we've got to step it up.
Yeah.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.